after that, I was addicted. I kind of phased away from drums.
I was so about to ask you, like, what was your like first real experience on, because it sounded like Pro Tools was your first niche,
Yeah.
But what was your go-to for us the drums and stuff on a DAW instead of real-time drums?
Oh well,
and stuff like that?
well, all I had was at that time all I had was Fruit Loop, the kit, the first kit that was on there.
Okay, so was Fruity Loops first, or was Pro Tools first, or
well, Fruity Loops and Acid Pro was first.
Okay, got you.
Then after a while, I met up with some people. Actually, it was some people down the street from me.
Mm-hmm.
It was they called Tight
Right.
Entertainment, and it literally lived like down the street from me.
Right.
And they basically like took me in, and they was like, man, come down to the studio, and they had like major stuff down there, man. I was like, that was my first time seeing like
a kid on
like
Christmas.
it was my first time actually seeing it in person, like the glass, the plexiglass. You can see the person on the other end, the control room, and
they're like, come in, dude.
they're like, come on in, little bro. Like, and I was like,
right.
After that, man, I was like, dude, and when I first sat down at the computer, I looked at the program. The program looked so professional because I always heard about Pro Tools. A lot of people was talking about Pro Tools this, Pro Tools that. So when I synced it, I was like, this is what I want to learn.
That was the real industry stuff?
That was the standard.
Really? Yeah.
And so after that, I was down there like almost every weekend night. It was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. My pops still knew where I was at.
Right.
Because I was literally down the street.
So they basically supported you on that.
Oh yeah, my mom.
They knew.
Yeah, because after I got my program and everything, I needed to figure out how I was going to get the vocals into the computer. So my mom actually took me to the Guitar Center and bought.
That was my favorite store.
Man, bought everything that I needed. I was like, because we didn't know what to get, so we asked the people there. It was real helpful. It was like, well, he gonna need a microphone. He gonna need he gonna need phantom power. I was like, phantom power,
yeah.
Phantom.
I
was like, what's that?
What is that? Right.
I'm like, what's phantom power? That must make all my stuff sound good.
Can't get it confused with the phantom keyboard.
Yeah, you hear me? So it was like, you gonna need this. I got my first sound card, PCI sound card, and everything. After that, I started learning how to record vocals.
They used to throw me for a loop too when they say sound chord. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah,
sound chord. Like,
that was crazy.
You talking about the sound in it? They laughing at me like.
But after that, man, like I said, I was learning from the people down the street from me, from Tight, from the engineers, and after that, I just really started honing in on my craft.
Right.
And I started figuring out like what's a compressor, what's an EQ, things like that. After a while, I started recording we had a group, my family, where it was my nephews, and we used to have a group and we recorded a lot. So that experience, that time gave me a lot of experience on recording because we had so much trial and error at that time. It's so much trial and error. I had to figure out how can I get my vocals in this song to sound like the records. How can I do it? Like, I had to figure out a way. So it was many nights and days that I was just like, all right, let me figure out what an EQ does. Yeah. I figured that out. Figure out what an EQ is. I figure out exactly what a compressor is. Which that's still confusing nowadays because you can use a compressor so many ways.
You don't know
but
if you use it at the end or
Yeah. So I had to figure out what all these tools what all the tools do. So after years passed by, I had gotten my first real internship at a studio. And when I got to the studio, my eyes just opened up. Like everything that I learned, I was literally able to apply it in that studio. But also just because of the mentors there and the teachers, they opened my eyes up. It was a completely different ball game. So after that, I went to Jupiter Studios. In Jupiter Studios, everybody know Adrian. I think his name Adrian Brown, and he probably never even noticed me in the studio. But when he was recording, there was a lot of interns in there cleaning up, things like that. But he probably never even noticed me. But I was in sessions with him, literally just sitting in the back, didn't say a word.
You just sat back and studied.
I sat back and just looked at every single move that he did and figured out, like, how did he get that sound like that?
Yeah.
And I sat back and I never said a word to him. He never even knew I was in there.
Sometimes you got to do that, though. You know, I know a lot of people, you know, want to be in a rush, you know, to get there, or, you know, but you got to respect the process.
Yeah, you have to respect the process.
Part of the process, I believe, is studying yourself. You know, YouTube. We got that nowadays. We didn't have that at first. YouTube,
bro,
Google, and even what you just said, just sitting in the back watching somebody do it live. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like just soaking in all of that
information.
You know?
And I had and like the owner, Jim Callahan, and he really opened my eyes up as well. Like I kind of felt like he kind of took me under his wing. Like he took me. It was like, you know, any kind of questions that I had, he was answering every single question that I had about audio, everything, and it's a funny thing because how I got in there, I had literally walked in the door and I said, I didn't even know he was the owner. I said, look, I just want to learn how to do audio. I just want to learn how to record. I said, I'll do whatever I need to do. I said, I'll clean the toilets. I'll clean up, you know, this and
that's humility.
And I said, I'll do it. And he was like, all right, when can you start? I was like, when can I start? I'm like, I'll start today.
Wow,
and
right.
I think I literally did, like, start that day or the next day. I started. And when I got in there, way in the back of the studio, it was a storage room. The storage room, you know, by being really busy, it's really hard to keep up a storage room. And it was so much stuff, man. It wasn't trashy or nothing like that.
It was just stuff all over.
It was just stuff all over the place, man. It was just like really unorganized, but it was really where they just stored like stuff. I went back there and I did every inch of that storage room. It was a full-fledged garage, and I did everything. I put everything in order, wrapped cords, labeled everything. I did everything. So after that, he was just like, all right, you for real.
Right. That's what it's about, man.
Yeah, man.
You know, you got to pay your dues, you know, before you get into it, man. And,
For sure.
and that's what I be, you know, trying to teach these young cats, man, because they just like, well, I want to do this and do that, and I'm like, but you got to put in work.
You got to put in work.
Like, nobody just starts off at the top, you know.
Never. And then even a lot of kids, man, they go to school for this. And I think it's a good idea to go to school.
Right.
I really believe that if you have the resources and the money,
right,
and the time or whatever to go to school, go to school for it.
Right.
I have no issues with that. But my only quarrel with it is that
you can learn all that.
You didn't learn all this stuff, right? Like textbooks wise.
Yeah.
But in the real world, it's completely different.
Different.
You know, I mean, it's good.
Experience is the best teacher.
Yeah, you know, experience is the best teacher, I believe, because it's kids that graduated from school. I don't want to say this in a cocky way or, you know, anything like that, or in a prideful way.
It's
but the facts is, just because I have more experience in the real world, I can adjust and mix better than they can, in the sense. I'm not the best at all, but I'm just saying, compared to people who haven't been in the real world, it's a different ball game. Because some people, where we use a compressor like this and a compressor like that, or even in the Nelly Institute, they have real world, you know, situations there, because they got the boards there, you know, they can record each other and things like that. That's cool. That's great. But just imagine you sitting down with an artist who only has 2 hours to record. Exactly. And in that 2 hours he want to record 3 songs.
Exactly.
Your education is out the window. You going by what's in your mind, what you feeling, what's on the fly, what sounds good right now.
It's all repetition.
It's all repetition, and you just making moves. You making moves without even thinking.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the best part about the education too, is that once you get the education part of it, you understand everything that's going on.
Yeah. In
your DAW, you know, your tools that you're using, you understand everything.
Yeah.
So by you making moves, you don't think about it.
Yeah.
You know what to do.
I mean, they both work hand in hand.
They both work hand in hand. It does.
But,
it does.
You know, I kind of lean on what you were saying. I like the physical part of it all, the experience part.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, when you're doing it yourself, it's like you put in more man hours. You know, because you're studying, you want to cut down all the mistakes that you've made in the past, and you know, the books part is good, but if you don't like, you can know what something is, but if you've never actually done it or used it, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, you can sit down with your kid and be like, here's a condom. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You do this and you do that. They'll look at you like, okay, you know, they'll never really know what it is until it's time to experience it with their wife. Because we married over here. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, man. You know, so I totally agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, man. But like you said, it all goes hand in hand. And I really believe education is a good thing.
Yeah.
But also, it all depends on how many hours you put in. Man, I didn't put in 40. I didn't count it literally. I went back years ago and just it kind of like added up like the hours that I spent doing it. Like from the time that not even from the time I started. When I started doing like getting into it, like recording people. From then to now, I think I put in at least 40,000 plus hours. 40,000 plus hours. Because, I mean, anything over 10, 20,000 hours, if you're doing something, you're basically a pro at it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's science.
Yeah.
You know, we're creatures of habit. So anything you do for 21 days and more, back in on end, you have a habit of it. You know what it is. You know how it works.
It's like tying your shoes.
It's like tying your shoes. You can just get up in the middle of the night and just tie your shoes up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's the same thing as with your craft or your career or your business. That's just the way it is.